Okay. This is gonna be pretty ranty and barely scripted, but I'm still mad about it all, so there's been developments that honestly make this whole thing even worse, so do bear with me here. Hey, my name is Wisty, and I was the artist who was formerly known as Maple Moon. On this channel, I talk about the art world and the art industry, VTubing, tech, and games. Now that that's out of the way, I want to talk about why all these art tablet manufacturers seem to suddenly be snubbing their customer bases by jumping on the generative AI train. For those who are unaware, generative AI is, in a very simplified way, a machine algorithm that gets fed millions to billions of different images, where it keeps them in its database. Then, when someone types in, say, for example, George Bush riding a unicorn across a rainbow at a gay pride parade in Texas, very angry, it'll pull from its database and diffuse an image approximating what you requested based on what it has in its data. In essence, it is plagiarism on a large scale, because it cannot function or exist without the work of thousands of artists, almost all of whom are uncompensated, uncredited, and unconsenting for their work to be used in this way. You can go on a rant about copyright abolition all you want. I personally call myself a minimalist, but even if we got rid of copyright, this would not be ethical. These tools are built from the ground up by billionaire hedge fund executives for one purpose and one purpose only: replacing artists at our own craft with our own work, so they can save a few bucks and hope that the general public just doesn't notice the overall quality of everything going into the dumpster. I'll link some posts and videos about generative AI below, because if you get me ranting about the general intricacies of all of that, I'll be here all day. Hoo boy, my dad is very tired of hearing about it. So, what spurred this video was a recent ad campaign by Wacom, one of the industry-leading art tablet manufacturers, wherein they used AI-generated images of Chinese dragons, if you can even call them that, in their advertisement for the new year. People quickly noticed it and called Wacom out on this, and the company took down the posts and changed their header, hiding the evidence. It took 3 days until they issued an apology, and oh boy, do I have things to say about this apology, but we'll get to that in a bit. My concern is that it's not just Wacom that's been doing this. For example, earlier in 2023, XP Pen was caught using AI-generated stock images in their promotional material. However, they quickly deleted it when pointed out, and it didn't take them 3 days to issue a statement, and they've been pretty careful to avoid using AI again, so props to them, I guess. The bar is literally on the ground, but I guess Wacom wants to be limbo dancing with the devil. Huion was also found to have had a part in an art teaching platform based around classes about generative AI prompting, although they claim on their English Twitter that they denounced that now, after it was found. Do I believe them? Well, their apology is at least a little bit more sincere sounding than Wacom's. Let me just read out Wacom's apology for you. Wacom at Wacom from Twitter. A message from the Wacom team. Dear Wacom community, you have pointed out to us that we may have incorporated AI-generated images into our New Year's marketing assets. We hear your concerns and questions. We know you are upset that it has taken us so long to address the situation, and we needed the time to investigate and get the facts right. We want to assure you that using AI-generated images in these assets was not our intent. Here is what happened. Wacom purchased these images through a third-party vendor, where it was indicated that they were not AI-generated. Wrong. We vetted these images through a few popular online tools that also indicated that they were not AI-generated. Lie. However, Given the community's feedback, we are now not sure how these images were created. Bullshit. For this reason, we immediately discontinued their use. We are very grateful to be part of the creative community, and we appreciate your feedback and collective knowledge in this field, and for holding us accountable. Wacom supports human creativity and strives to serve the community with integrity. Blah 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 blah. Sincerely, the Wacom team. I want to point out the excuse they're using here. We purchased these images through a third-party vendor. This is the same excuse that Wizard of the Coast used to justify their AI in a recent controversy. Purchasing stock from a third-party vendor is just fine, but it is still on the company to make sure that what they're purchasing is actually legally usable for them. AI-generated images cannot be copyrighted, which means that legally they cannot be licensed for use either, and they're flooding stock sites. I'm working on a visual novel in my spare time. It's going very slowly, thank you for asking. And trying to find backgrounds that aren't AI generated is, at this point, nearly impossible. It's gotten to the point where I'm walking around my town and taking photos to Twig and Photopea. It's that bad. But it's still no excuse for this. Where's your quality assurance team? It's not like this is exactly hard to identify as AI if you're someone who has working eyes. But here, I'll break it down for you. The tail is unattached to the body. The AI couldn't decide whether the dragon's teeth were hair or not. The scales make no sense, and the eyes are just a mess of noise. If that doesn't convince you, check out this image from the gallery of the stock uploader on Adobe Stock, where this wolf apparently has 2 mouths. Or this horrific abomination that I found on their account in the 15 seconds I went there. I love it. It's horrifying. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It dealt me psychic damage when I saw it. I love it. Which is why that their claim that they used popular online tools that indicated they were not AI generated falls apart. You can see that these are AI just by looking at them. You don't even really need to be an artist. Plus, I actually went to one of these tools. It's called Illuminati, and I ran the dragon through their tool, and it came up as over 80% AI likelihood. So they're just lying out their asses about this. Now, these tools are not foolproof. They do sometimes have false flags. They sometimes don't pick up the AI. I've ran a few of my artworks through it, and none of my artworks, even the ones that are like the bog standard AI sort of subject matter, just female characters facing forward with soft painting, only hits like 30% likelihood of being AI. So that's the thing. They're not perfect, but it didn't take me long to find this tool, and it also didn't take me long to search, so that indicates to me that they're lying about it. Plus, why would you even need these AI detection tools if they can just open their eyes and look at the picture for 5 seconds or less? Are they telling us, brazenly admitting, that they have zero quality assurance team whatsoever? What does that say about their products? Why would I ever, knowing how little care they put into their promotional material, to have missed this huge thing, want to buy another Wacom, knowing that there is no attention to detail whatsoever? This thing wasn't just slapped together by some random social media manager. It had to be looked at by at least a few levels of management and marketing. And this is just what I find so frustrating about this whole thing. These companies, ostensibly for artists, are now faced with a choice. They can keep getting caught using AI, or they can hire an artist. And they will take the former every time, because they are corporations, and the only thing that matters is the bottom line. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, and in this case, it's easier to just play stupid and pretend you didn't know and blame a third-party vendor than bother doing any quality assurance work for yourself. God. Freya, help me. The most baffling part is AI ruins their own business. The prompt princesses aren't going to be buying their multi-$1,000 pen tablets. Enabling AI in the corporate sphere, where most of the jobs we use and take on in order to eat and therefore fund the things we actually want to be doing, are. Which means less people buying their products. The whole thing is extremely frustrating. I know I'm not going to be touching Wacom or Hawaiian, not until I see them vehemently decry the use of AI. Not just giving us a whoopsie doodle, not our fault, we promise to do better line. The question is, where is the next tablet going to come from once my current Intuos dies? How many more of these companies are going to snub us to make a quick buck or save a quick buck? Is there any place untouched that by generative AI that artists can rely on? I just don't know anymore. This is just going to keep happening, and they're just going to keep giving us the same lines every time. But now I want your thoughts on this whole mess. Tell me in the comments below what you think about Wacom and Hawaiian, and if you actually believe their apologies, or are they just blowing hot air. And while you're down there, consider leaving a like and a subscribe. It really helps me out and gives me motivation to produce more content like this. See ya!